They said if you hear the drum at night, you must cover your ears, because the music does not stop at your ears. It enters your heart, and when it leaves, it takes something you love with it. Would you hear the music if it promised you power? In the village of Obioha, people feared only one thing more than death: a drum. An old drum that no one touched, yet it played. Only at night, only when the moon was high, and only when someone was about to lose something forever. Long ago, the drum did not belong to the village. It was brought by a stranger, a tall man with tired eyes and a voice that sounded like he had not spoken in years. He came during the dry season, when the land was cracked and people were hungry. He carried the drum on his back. No one asked where he got it. That was their first mistake. The chief welcomed him. "You may stay," the chief said. "But what is that you carry?" The man smiled slowly. "A gift," he said. "A drum that brings power. A drum that answers your deepest need." The villagers murmured. Power? Food? Rain? They were desperate. The chief looked at the drum again. "And what does it take?" he asked. The man's smile faded. "Only what you love." The air went cold. Some laughed it off. Others walked away. But not everyone. That night when the village was asleep, dum, 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 the sound came from the center of the village. Slow, deep, alive. People woke up one by one. Doors opened, eyes wide. The drum was playing on its own. No one was touching it. Yet, the sound, it pulled them closer, like a whisper inside their chest. Among them was a young boy named Chike. Chike had lost his father the year before. Since then, his mother had been sick, very sick. She could barely walk. Every day, Chike walked in the farm alone. Every night he prayed, but nothing changed. So when he heard the drum, he didn't feel fear. He felt hope. He ran back inside. "Mama, Mama, can you hear it?" he whispered. His mother coughed weakly. "Don't go out," she said. "That sound is not for us." "But Mama, what if it can help you?" Chike said, his voice shaking. "What if this is the answer?" She grabbed his hand with the little strength she had. "Listen to me, Chike," she said softly. "Not everything that gives, gives freely." "But you are dying," he said, tears in his eyes. "I can't just watch." She looked at him for a long moment. Then she whispered, "I would rather die than lose you." Chike froze. Outside, the drum grew louder. Dum, 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 calling him. The next morning, something strange happened. A farmer who had no crops suddenly had a full harvest. A woman who could not walk stood up. A man who was poor now had gold. The village was in shock. "It is the drum," people whispered. "It is the stranger." Hope spread like fire. But something else so did: fear. Because that same day, the farmer's son went missing. The woman's husband collapsed and died. The rich man's house burned down with his family inside. The gifts came, but the cost followed. The villagers gathered. The stranger stood beside the drum. "You see now," he said calmly, "the drum gives what you ask." "And it takes what you love," the chief said angrily. The stranger nodded. "That is the balance." "Then take it away," someone shouted. "You brought it. You can remove it." The stranger looked at them one by one. "I cannot," he said, "because now the drum belongs to the village." Silence. Heavy silence. That night, Chike sat beside his mother. Her breathing was slower now, weaker. "Chike," she whispered. He leaned close. "I'm here, Mama." She touched his face gently. "When I'm gone, you must live well. Do not follow darkness." Tears rolled down his cheeks. "I won't let you go," he said. "I can't." She smiled faintly. "You are stronger than you think." Outside, the drum began again. Dum, 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 louder than ever, calling him. Chike stood up slowly. His mother saw the look in his eyes. "No," she whispered. "Chike, don't." He turned to her, crying. "If I do nothing, I lose you anyway." "And if you go," she said, breaking, "you may lose yourself." He hesitated. The drum beat faster, dum 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 dum, like a heartbeat, like it knew his pain. "I just want you to live," he whispered. Then he walked out. The drum was in the center of the village, alone, waiting. Chike stepped closer. The air felt heavy. "Please," he said, "heal my mother." The drum stopped. Silence. Then a voice came from nowhere. "What will you give?" Chike trembled. "Myself," he said quickly. "No," the voice echoed. "What you love." Chike's chest tightened. He thought of his mother, her smile, her voice, her love. Tears fell. "I give," his voice broke. "I give the memory of my mother." The drum exploded in sound. Doom! The ground shook. The deal was made. The next morning, Chike's mother was standing outside, healthy, strong, alive. The village rejoiced. They shouted, "It is a miracle." But Chike just stared at her, confused, empty. She ran to him. "Chike, my son." She hugged him tight. He did not hug back. He looked at her like a stranger. "Who are you?" he asked. Her heart broke in that moment. The village began to understand. The drum did not just take things. It took what made life worth living. Love, memory, joy. Piece by piece, people became empty, cold, lost. The stranger was gone. The drum remained. And every night, it still played. Years later, the village became quiet. No laughter, no music, only the drum. And people who had everything they once wanted, but nothing left to feel. They say if you pass near that village at night, you will hear it. Dum, dum, dum. And it will call you, not with fear, but with promise, power, healing, answers. But remember, it never gives without taking. So tell me, would you hear the music if it promised you power? Or would you walk away while you still have something left to lose? If this story touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because more stories are coming, and the next one might even be darker.